The journey was to cycle all the way from the Spanish border back to Roscoff to get the ferry back to UK. Cycling all alone, carrying a tent, going into accommodation if and when was required. The journey started with a ferry trip from Portsmouth to Bilbao and then the train across to the Spanish border. Not many bikes here, apart from ones with motors. And so the adventure begins. Goodbye England, hopefully back in 3.5 weeks' time. Okay, made it to the beach. Quite late to set off today with both trains, but plenty nice and cheap. Just stopped for a cup of tea, as the English do. And now just cycling this lovely cycle path along the front of Heian. We're only doing about 12 miles today. It's nice and gentle, might be a bit further. A few hills in front of me I can see. Let's see what happens. Beautiful St Jean de Luz. Lovely beach, lovely water. No time to go in it though. Keep on rolling. Made it to Biarritz. Very hilly so far, a bit slower than I expected. But yeah, beautiful Biarritz. People of Bayern obviously heard I was coming. They got the band out. Gorgeous cycle paths like this everywhere. Lovely, nice to get away from the road. It's a bit overcast today, a bit cooler, a bit nicer for cycling to tell the truth. And this is a Sunday. French cycle paths are so busy once you get out the towns. And you can take your helmet off, which is lovely. So a lovely cycle path, no people, great for filming, great for cycling. Even along quite busy roads you get a lovely cycle path by the side of it. It's Monday morning, just after 9 o'clock. Already done about 12 miles, so that's a good early start this morning, woken by the dawn chorus. And heading for Lyon at the moment. And then I'll have a look and see where the next point is, since I'm going to be there well before lunch, which is great. And yeah, that'll be about 25 miles from my start this morning. Just coming up to where we camped a few years ago, just south of Messanges. Had hoped to get here last night, but it's just a little bit too hot in the morning and a bit hilly around Biarritz. So that's it for now. Sitting on my glasses in the tent was not a great plan on day 3, but a lovely lady at an Intermarché opticians fixed them for me for free. So now I have one blue stem and one grey stem. Very trendy glasses. Next I went into the area just south of Bordeaux, very severely damaged by the fires last summer. There was still a lot of evidence of burnt trees, areas that had been cut down, areas that had been cleared to make fire breaks to stop the fire spreading. Horrible sight, but they're working extremely hard to fix it, all the way up to the beautiful Dune de Pilat. Where I caught the foot ferry to Cap Ferrat. Another day, another gorgeous cycle route. Took the ferry across to Cap Ferrat this morning. Beautiful, saved me probably half a day of the cycle. So I'm just leisurely cycled up through Cap Ferrat. So you can hear a few rattles and things, but we're surviving. And the weather is still gorgeous. So this was my routine when I arrived at a campsite. Very quickly, as soon as I could, get the tent up, erected, and which allowed me to get washing done, hang washing on the side of it, to get everything clean for the start of the following day's cycle. Preferably, if they had a swimming pool, that would be my next place. Next was the ferry across the Gironde River, taking me across there to the other side and marking the first third of the journey. Hello, as you can see, another gorgeous day, if a bit windy. Hopefully you can hear the bird sound as well. It's gorgeous cycling through the marshes here. Just come through Rochefort, very early start. Wanted to make sure I got there in time to get a replacement for my waterproof jacket, which I've managed to do. And now we're heading towards the coast, hopefully to make it somewhere near La Rochelle tonight. We've done about 316 miles so far, which includes a little bit before we set off from Spain, but yeah, not quite halfway, well on the way. Yeah, sometimes I have to remind myself what I've managed to achieve on this. Here we are, La Rochelle, Sunday morning, and I've cycled here from the Spanish border. Amazing, Some of the campsites I stayed on had the most amazing swimming complexes as well, which wasn't too bad when you're very tired from the end of a cycle day. From the windmills in front, you can tell two things. One, it's very windy. Two, the wind is in exactly the wrong direction for me. Made it to the Loire, Lake the Giron, another massive crossing point that marks a big step on the route. About 220 miles left to go, I believe. Perfect cycling weather this morning, nice and cool, low cloud, stopped raining, perfectly flat by the canal, and my phone's nearly out of power. And it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Not a great start. See if I get charged later on today. Bye! North of Nantes, the world changed. It suddenly became very green. The canal was beautiful to cycle alongside. And we had even a company with music. So, due to the storms of the last few days, slight change of plan, had to abandon the camping because I was getting too wet, and found some 3 or 4 bed and breakfasts on my way back up to Roscoff. This is the Nantes to Brest Canal, which I've been following for a couple of days now. Absolutely gorgeous. 9 o'clock in the morning, just had a beautiful breakfast, and what can you say? It's a bit of low cloud, hopefully no rain today. Got very wet yesterday, and this is what cycling should be. It's nice, it's cool, perfect weather. Well, that was lucky. Just stopped at a little market town that was suggested by the lady last night. Gorgeous place. And in the market was a guy who had a cycle repair mobile place. So for €2 he pumped up my tyres, which are about half of what they should be, and oiled the chain. Perfect after the filth it got yesterday. At Jocelyn, I stayed at the very appropriately named Hotel de Chateau. I think you can see where it's got its name from. And still on the Nantes-Brest Canal. Gorgeous, lovely. Had a couple of days of slow uphills, lots of locks. There's 57 locks within 30 miles here. So it's obviously not a flat canal. Nobody uses it. There's no boats. It's full of weed. But it makes for a gorgeous, gorgeous cycle ride. Lots of benches. I think we might be back here. Getting food was a challenge. One Sunday night, this was the only place open in the village where I could get some food. Fortunately, I was staying in the gîte who had this fantastic spread of homemade jams. This is most mid-morning breaks. Sat at a junction with a bar with a cup of green tea where I can park my bike outside and sit and watch the world go by. Coming out of Morlaix on the last morning, I met an English couple, David and Liz, and cycled with them the rest of the day as we only had 17 miles or so to go to Roscoff. Last day, big hill just come up here. Met another couple, name of David and Liz. They're just coming up behind me somewhere up this road, and only 5 or 6 miles or so to the last campsite. Let's see how that goes. Well, made it to Roscoff. Here we are, my pitch with a view. Stunning campsite, which we've used before. Just on the outskirts of Roscoff, and get the ferry tomorrow afternoon. Amazing trip, 762 miles in 19 days, 18 days and 2.5 days. Absolutely amazing. Oh.
So here we are on our last day before catching the ferry on the beach, just like being in the Caribbean. We've met a friend, Chris, who's brought us to this lovely place, and if I can get them, would you like to turn around? Yes, I've got them here on video. They're just about to dive into the water now. Oh, slight pause, slight pause. There's Chris, and Liz is just following on. Well done. I think it's time for over and out.
So, au revoir France. It's been a blast. Had a fantastic time. Back on the ferry and back to the UK.